Peace, peace, peace. I just want to say that it's such a big power move when you are guided by your own inner power, guided by your own intuition, guided by your own choices, guided by your own opinions, guided by your own feeling of knowingness, guided by your own inner guidance. We each carry a map within us. And I love to see it in this sense of like a map of like a navigation system that's internal. We have an internal navigation system that's different to everybody else. Even the closest person to us in our life has a different navigation system than we do. And at some points we might collide and we might meet up at the same destination, but we're still each being guided by our own inner guidance through our own intuition. And it's such a power move when you're able to make choices for yourself, when you're able to decide for yourself, when you're able to speak up for yourself, when you're able to say yes or say no for yourself, because that's what you're feeling, not because that's what you think is going to be the best answer that someone else is going to want to hear, or not because you think that that's what's going to satisfy or please something outside of you, but because you feel within you that that's the choice that you are meant to make. It's such a big power move when you are guided through your own guidance. And I'm going to use an example. Last night, I was invited to a showing at a really beautiful outdoor movie theater out here in the jungle. And I live in Tulum. And I love going there. And my friends invited me. And in the beginning, I was like, okay. She told me hours earlier and about it being that evening. And I was like, okay, maybe, you know. But then an hour before, well, close to 2 hours before I would have to leave, I started not to feel like going. Not because I didn't want to go, not because I didn't want to experience it, not because I didn't want to in other words, I couldn't make sense as to why I wasn't feeling it. I just wasn't feeling it. And I had another friend over here with me who was going to go with me too if I decided to go. And she was asking me, like, do you want to go? She was down for whatever. And I just couldn't figure out why I wasn't really feeling like going. And she was even telling me, like, you don't seem very convinced that you want to go. And I would just pause and just kind of reflect and tap into my inner guidance and see what my inner guidance is guiding me to do. And I always like to give myself time, and I always like to pay attention to this uneasiness or this feeling of holding me back, like my body literally pushing me back instead of forward, like, yeah, let's go. And so, and in the end of it, I decided not to go. I decided, yeah, I'm not feeling it. Something's intuitively guiding me not to go. Even though it sounds beautiful, when my friend who was already there sent me a video of how it looked, because I injured myself and I can't sit on any chair. And so I wanted to be reminded what cushions they have, what seats they have. And so she sent me a video. It looked beautiful. I knew other friends of mine were going to be there, and I would have loved to be a part of it, but something within me was just not fully saying yes. And I always pay attention to how I'm feeling now. I pay attention to, am I eager to go, or am I feeling like, I don't know. And when I'm feeling like, I don't know, it's usually that I'm not meant to be there. And so fast forward, I made the choice not to go. I decided, nah, And usually, once I make a decision, I pay attention to how I feel with that decision. Or sometimes when I can't really figure out, I feel both feelings. I feel the feeling if I went, how would I feel? I feel the feeling if I didn't go, how do I feel? Do I feel relief? Do I feel like my energy lifts all of a sudden because I made that choice? And if I don't feel good with whatever choice I've embodied, then I know which choice was right. Well, right for me in that moment. There's no right or wrong. But when I say that I was right to make the choice, it was more aligned for me not to go, because I saw the trailer after the fact of the movie that was going to be shown, and it was way too strong of a movie for me. The imagery was very intense, and I'm very sensitive to many things, and I pay attention now to my sensitivity. And I knew that film was not for me. It wasn't for me to be seeing that film. And fast forward more to this rising, my friend who was there messaged me and told me, yeah, you were right not to go, because after thinking about it, it would have probably been too much for you. It would have been way too intense for you. And it's like, when you make a decision for your highest good that's aligned with you, and making a decision for you, because I could have easily gone along with what my friend was telling me, which she respects. They know I'm going to make a decision intuitively. They trust my decisions. But at the same time, she was sending me a video and saying, hey, like, I think you're going to be okay. You're going to be comfortable. They seem to have good, comfortable seats. We can mix two together. And I could have been leaned. I could have been convinced. I could have been led to do something against what I was feeling, just to not satisfy, but I guess I'll just use the satisfy word for lack of a better word, to satisfy going to because she was there, going because I knew other friends would probably be there, going out of FOMO, fear of missing out, which I don't anymore. I'm so happy that I allow myself to just tune in and not be scared of missing out on anything or anything. If I'm not meant to be somewhere, there's no missing out on anything. And because I listened to myself, I received confirmation immediately after, and double confirmation from my friend who was there, saying, yeah, you made the right decision. It would have been too intense for you. And this always happens. This always happens. I have so many stories of things like this that happen where I end up not feeling it, and I make a decision based on how I'm feeling intuitively. And when I make that decision, I get confirmation immediately or shortly after that that decision was the right one. The right one as far as being more aligned and in resonance with me. So I'm just here reminding you, it is such a power move for you to follow your own guidance and your own intuition and tune into that navigation that lives within you. And remove how someone else will feel based on your choice. Remove expectations that someone else might have for you to go because you said you were going to go. I feel like that's another thing too. I'm very careful with saying, yes, I'll go. I now am more mindful to tell them, I'll let you know, I'm going to feel it out, because it may be that hours earlier I was feeling like, okay, maybe I'll go. And the moment of, I can feel an instant different energy where it's like, actually, I think I'm not feeling guided to be there, guided to do this, guided to say this. So a lot of times too, when we're building a relationship of trust with ourselves, it's trusting that. It's trusting what you're feeling and overriding any expectations that may be set outside of you, that, oh, you said you were going to go. And a big thing is, not if you're not 1,000% sure, don't say you're going to do something, because then that's also creating a distrust within you. The relationship with you and you create a distrusting foundation, because it's like, well, I told myself I was going to do it, and then now I'm not doing it. But if you feel intuitively guided, then it's a must to override this of, just because I said I was going to do it, I'm going to do it, even though my guidance inside is saying, no, don't do it. That, you get what I'm saying? So there's so much power within you when you choose for you, when you allow your own self to be guided for you. And that's always going to reflect to be the best thing for people outside of you too. And actually, I was having a conversation with my friend yesterday too, how there's this energy around making choices for your own self because it seems selfish. And I know, because I've had this resistance for a long time in my life too, where I wanted to, I was told I was being selfish for making a choice for myself. I was told I was being selfish for doing for me before doing for something else. But when you're coming from a place of self-love and alignment with yourself, the effect of that is also aligned for others. Because when you do for you, you're also doing for others, because we're all connected, 12-12. We're all vibrating together. And if you override your vibration to match what you think someone else wants you to vibrate at, you've now created a disharmony, not only with your vibration, but also with this other vibration that you try to match. It's truly a power move for you to just live in your own truth, follow your own inner guidance, make choices based on what you are intuitively guided, feeling like choosing. And I promise you, you'll be rewarded internally. It's such a rewarding feeling when you follow your intuition and then you receive instant clarity and confirmation that that was the most aligned decision for you to make, and you paid attention to it. It feels so uncomfortable and so difficult on our own self internally when we are intuitively guided to do something or not do something, and then we override that with not paying attention to it, and then we receive instant clarity and confirmation that our intuition was right all along and we should have listened to that. So you choose what you want, to follow your own inner guidance and receive the reward within yourself that you followed and trusted yourself in that inner knowingness, or have to deal with, like, man, I knew I should have trusted myself. I knew I should have followed my intuition. I was feeling this all along and I didn't listen. And now you kind of have to deal with whatever muddy situation you created for yourself, which is still all a part of a great purpose, because now you know not to ignore this feeling within you. Now you know to follow your own inner guidance. Now you know to make choices based on what you're feeling, not because you think someone has the best choice for you. We know what the best choice is for ourselves, because all of us are carrying a different navigation system within us. 1441, 1444. I remind you. I remind you to release energy. No, but really, I remind you to Stay in your power and stay in your truth. And remember that you have an inner navigation system within you, and it's constantly guiding and directing you. It's up to you if you choose to turn that voice off or let it keep speaking louder and louder to you, through you. It's a power move to live in this truth, to live in this choice of following your own guidance. Peace.